Hi everyone, today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite recipes, which is duck roast hummus. I know many of you in Singapore who have tasted my dish has asked me to share the recipe, which I kind of refused when I was in Singapore, but anyway, now I'm here in Brisbane and I thought, yeah, why not? And it's actually a very simple recipe where everything is made from scratch. How do I ended up making this recipe is because, when I lived in Brisbane, hummus is everywhere. I really enjoyed the taste, but when I came back to Singapore, it was really expensive to buy from the NTUC and all these supermarkets, if there was. So I decided, why not research about it and let's make it from scratch. And there I was experimenting, looking up YouTube and see how other people made it, and therefore I end up creating my own. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how it's done. And yeah, you can see Gideon at the back. Say hello, Gideon.
Hello.
So at the moment I'm looking after Gideon. He's not quite school-going age yet, one more year, and not really one more year, but next February he'll be going to prep. And yeah, during this time I'm looking after him and doing bits and pieces of gardening, and of course sharing my experiences with you guys on YouTube. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so this is the first part of what you need to do. And of course we're going to start with the basic ingredient, which is chickpeas. This you can get at any NTUC in Singapore, and here most Asian grocers stock it, even Coles and Woolies. So yeah, I usually get a kilo because just buy a kilo is much easier than getting smaller packets. So what we do here is we just weigh out about 250 grams. Here I got a weighing scale. Okay, got a container that's fairly tall, and then we just weigh it out. Okay, so we just weigh it out. Just see how much that goes in. Okay, so now we got 250 grams. Alright, you can see from the scale here. How much water do you add? Okay, let me bring out the container here. Okay, you see this level? Alright, yeah, you just fill up to about 3 times to what it is. Okay, so you just use normal tap water and you soak it overnight. There you go, that's all you need to do. Okay, you see, so yeah, you do this, okay, overnight, and then this is what you get over here. Okay, so basically the whole chickpeas will swell up to about twice to even sometimes about twice its original size, and you need to boil it. So these are the main ingredients that you need to boil it. You need salt. I like to use cumin. Okay, these are just store-bought cumin, and black pepper. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it and what proportions to do it. Okay, so here are the basic materials that you need to cook your chickpeas. I'm using a stoneware. Some people, they like to use pressure cooker, but I like stoneware. Sometimes you can even use like rice cooker over here. Okay, you just put it in a rice cooker and boil it for a couple of hours. So you need to soften the chickpeas first because it's really hard. And yeah, so all you need to do is take the stoneware, or not take the stoneware, but take the chickpeas over here, and then you just pour inside everything. Okay, you need to keep the water, or we call it stock, when you grind up the chickpeas, that's so that it can increase the flavor to the hummus. And of course you add about another 600-500 mils more water, okay, because of course it's going to evaporate. And with me, I like to add a handful of cumin. Okay, so you need cumin powder later on, so here I just use cumin. I like to slow cook my chickpeas because I think slow cooked food is a lot nicer. It brings out the flavor more intensely a bit. So yeah, just put a bit more black pepper. Okay, and lastly is you have it with salt. because you know you need some salt. You know the taste doesn't come out. You draw out all the. So that's about it. Okay, and yeah, I'll just leave it on high. Put it on the stove for a couple of hours. With stoneware, like I said, it has more even heating. I really like the taste of it. I think people cook stews and broths and stocks in this. Okay, so it's more even heating. And yeah, we cook this until it's soft for a couple of hours, and I'll show you what I do when it's all done. Alright, here now we're going to be showing you the other part of making the hummus, which is to get the sesame part going, which is actually what we call tahini. Tahini is technically olive oil with sesame seeds blended together to get that paste, which is another important ingredient in making hummus. So like in areas where tahini is pretty hard to find, much like Singapore, you just need to buy raw sesame and you can blend it yourself. But I decided why not roast it to get it more aromatic flavors to come out. So here you can see two different types of sesame which I found in Brisbane. This white one that you see here is what normally you find in Singapore and most Asian grocers. This is quite of a unique color. It's a lot darker. This one smells a lot more woody, quite unlike this pale one, which is what you get from the bottled sesame oil. So I'm going to basically start to show you how to roast sesame. Alright, so I'm going to start by getting the fryer to heat up. Well, it's a bit hot already. Okay, and then after that, all you need to do is to get, I'm going to start with much of a, you see here the white one, okay, which is a bit of a quarter of a cupful to get it going. Okay, so you just need to do is to pour it in quite gently, okay, and then you just spread it out. Okay, so you can see that this thing is heating up, okay, and yeah, once it gets actually a bit more golden brown at the sides, you just have to start flipping it, or you can't flip it, you got to keep stirring it, if not it gets burnt. So I'm going to let the pan heat up and then we'll come back to this. The pan now is fairly hot. I don't know if you can see the smoke rising, okay, but yeah, once you hear the sesame crackling, alright, you're going to start flipping it. You see? Starting to brown already. Okay. See that? Okay, so it's a bit burnt. So you got to control it really well. Okay, and yeah, you just have to keep flipping it, and this will actually get the oils to come out. And when you put it together with your chickpeas, it's very aromatic. This is the one, like I says, is what you will smell exactly from the bottle of a sesame oil, and this is what you normally find in Singapore. So yeah, you just need to roast it all up. Okay, as you can see here, I'm doing that. Okay, so you just do it until it's fairly even roasting, and you can just switch it off and stop it. Okay, now I'm going to turn off the fire. I'm going to bring up my camera to show you a bit more, and then I'm going to be flipping it, just sauteing it, you know, quite yeah, so that it gets all more even heating, so you can smell it. Once it's a bit smelling like sesame, you can put it down to a kitchen towel, and then you just spread it out. Okay, this will allow it to cool. It is very hot. Do not put it in a jar straight away. Okay, so yep, so this is part one of using the pale white sesame. We're going to do part two now, which is this one, okay, which is the darker, woodier, aromatic sesame. So we're going to do the same thing down here. Okay, so the same thing you do with this other variety, or actually with any sesame. Okay, and then after I actually just finished roasting it, I put it all together in a jar and I mixed it up like this here. so I get best of both smells. The best way to do it is to have equal parts so that there is a balance of flavor. I realize cooking is really about flavor and balance, that everything has to gel together. Okay, so yeah, and I'll show you about the chickpeas. As you can see, we come over to my stove here. Alright, they are cooking quite nicely. They actually have become nice and soft, and they are totally ready for blending. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next part after this. Okay, now we're going to be making the part of combining the chickpeas with the sesame, which is what I call the roasting process. It's not really a roasting process per se, but frying process, but I like to call it roasting, because basically you are trying to get the flavors, the best flavors of the chickpeas and the sesame to combine together, to stick them together, and therefore giving it really nice taste and smell and stuff like that. Okay, so we're going to first get our pan to be really hot. So you see it's really hot. I put in just normal sunflower oil. Okay, and then I can just take out my chickpea here, which is already very soft. Okay, so you need to use strain them out. Okay, so yeah, it's very hot, so it's gonna like sizzle, you know, a lot. So you just reduce it. It's quite a bit of a mess to do this. Okay, so but it's worth it. I would say it's a mess worth making, because it's just something. The taste is just so different from store-bought hummus, you see. So yeah, get it to come together. Okay, there is still some liquids in there. Okay, so you just fry it, like, you know, you fry it till it turns brown. Okay, fry it till it turns brown. Okay, then you just combine, okay, the sesame inside there. How much sesame to combine? I would just say to make sure that there is quite a bit of coating on the chickpeas itself, that you don't see a lot of the skin. Some people ask me, or actually not people ask me, but some people say, you know, you take out all the skin, you to make it taste better. To me, every bit of the plant, okay, tastes good. So as you can see here, I've left the chickpeas to fry. It's going to turn brown. Okay, the next step is to put in the sesame. Okay, it's equal parts to it, and then you just put it down so that you get equal roasting. Okay, make sure that your chickpeas are well covered with the sesame. Okay, keep frying it until, you know, it gets quite brown, and the smell. Basically, how do you know whether it's done or not is the smell. That it smells. Oh crap. Okay. It smells really. Yeah, somehow the oil got stuck there. Okay, it smells really good. It smells really nice. Okay. And yeah, once it smells really good, you can put them in there. Okay, which is a bowl, and then you just keep repeating the process until you finish all the chickpeas that there is, or whichever one becomes more limiting. Okay, so I'll keep frying this, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, as the frying process keeps going on, I want you to hear the sesame pop sound, and that is actually how you know whether all the oils are coming out. So I'm going to take the camera down and put it close to the frying pan. You hear that? All that popping sound? Okay. So with that sound coming up, you know that all the oils are trying to push themselves out of the seed coat, and therefore you're going to stick to the chickpeas. And this is how you get awesome tasting hummus. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to do this for a few batches, and then we'll come back to this next step. Okay, so now we're going to put our items together to create this hummus. So what you need now is garlic, raw garlic, a quarter teaspoon of cumin, lemon. I usually put about half a lemon, the juice from half a lemon, and then your chickpeas, which I have already fried up, it's still warm. The stock from the chickpeas that you've boiled up, olive oil, salt, and black pepper. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it. Basically, we just use 2/3 of a cup. Okay, you put 2/3 of a cup of chickpeas inside the blender. You just need any blender. I'm going to use this simple blender. Okay, put it down. You can put more if you want, but if your blender isn't very powerful, if you put too much, it's going to be very heavy. So I'm going to put 2 of it because, you know, I think this thing can handle 2. Now, so you put 2 cups of 2/3 cup of chickpeas, and then how much of this stock do you fill up? Okay, you fill it up all the way, just a touch, okay, to the top of it, right? Just a touch to the top of it, and then you put in your cumin, okay, your 2 garlic, and of course with the lemon juice, right? I'm just going to cut it. You can use your knife. I'm just going to cut it. Okay, and then after that you just squeeze half of it. You want some raw, some kind of a fresh taste to it. You don't want everything like so processed and cooked. So a little bit of raw, and that's Gideon looking over me, wondering what I'm doing. Okay, so you just squeeze that in. Yeah, here you go. Okay, how much salt do you put? I think salt is much like to taste, how salty you want it. Okay, I'm just going to put like a few dashes of it. Okay, and then pepper. Okay, I'm going to just grind some cracked pepper inside. Oops. Okay, so we're going to grind some cracked pepper into this. Okay, a few cracks. And olive oil. Just random amount. The idea is you want a bit creamy, textured. Yeah, it's not smooth. It's not going to be a smooth paste like what you find in the store. It's going to be quite different. So you just cover it. Okay, and then I'm gonna turn it up, lock it. There you go. Lock it, and then I'm gonna turn it on. Okay. Oops, I'm gonna turn this on. Okay, so this is how the hummus looks, the mixture. I'm just going to turn it on. If you find that after a while it's too thick, yeah, you just put in some water or olive oil. So I'm going to just turn it on. Alright, so this one is just about done. It's not completely very smooth, as you can see. I'm going to show you this. Okay. So I'm going to put my spoon in there. Okay, you see that there's a lot of these grainy bits. Is actually the parts from roasting the sesame. Okay, all the sesame hull and it's all brown. So this is quite dry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to add a tad bit more water and a bit more olive oil. Okay, just a tad bit more so that, you know, give it a bit more texture, make it smoother. Okay, and then I'm going to just stir it up some more. I'm very much into this. Chuck everything in and see how it goes, kind of a person, a kind of a yeah, cook. It's all like, let's see how it goes. Okay, so we're gonna turn it all on. Let's give it a shake. So it's still not very creamy. It's still not very like, smooth. You want it to get that really smooth consistency. So I'm going to show you how what are the issues you could be facing as you are making this. Okay, so it's not always the first time you get it right. So you give it a try a few times. Okay, gonna play around with liquids and stuff like that. Yeah, I can give you this is how I do it myself even. Okay, sometimes I make a batch up. It's not straight up first time you get it right. So yeah, I'm just going to show you the whole process. Okay, what you might face as well when you're making it. So yeah, we're nearly there. You want that vortex. Nearly there. You want that vortex-ish feel that when you make this. You see, so you can play around with oils and water and stock. Okay, and then just give it a whip. Okay. It smells really good. The sesame is coming out. Okay, and then there you go. Yeah. So once you get the whole vortex thing going, you're already there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is add just a tad bit more. Okay, you can be patient with making it. I've made this a couple of times. Still got to be patient. Okay, not always getting it. Sometimes I've had incidences where it gets too liquidy. So what happens is too liquidy. You put in a bit more chickpeas. Okay, and then you blend it up. I rather take a bit more time to have a play with it rather than suddenly it's too liquidy and you got to do some remedy action to it. So yeah, so good food is a bit of a, you gotta wait. That's why I like slow foods. Okay, so let's see how it goes now. There you go. This is the consistency you want. Okay, it pulses and it vortexes and stuff like that. So that is exactly how you want it. You can go a little bit more. Okay, so put in a bit more oil. And then put a tad bit more water. There you go. You want to hear that blending sound all the time. Okay. So once you have it pretty smooth, fairly smooth. There you go. Almost there. There, exactly, perfect. Okay, so you see the whole. Alright, then we take it out. And you do a taste test once you're done. Okay, see whether you like the taste or not. Okay, so I'm going to do a taste test. Yeah, we'll see how thick and creamy it is. Okay, it's a bit dark. It's fairly textured. Although you can't smell it, but yeah, the sesame is really nice. And let's see how it tastes. It's very different from store-bought. Half a lemon inside this proportion is a bit weak. I would probably like it a bit more sour. So if you like it a bit more sour, you put the other half into it. And after that, you just put everything into a container. Okay, much like this kind of container. Okay. And yeah, you can just put it in the fridge for a couple of days. So please do not have it too long in the fridge because it could actually grow moldy. So if you want to prevent mold, you put a layer of olive oil on top, but still, you need to keep it fresh. Yeah, eat it fresh is much better. Okay, so this is how I make my dark roast hummus. Give it a try, experiment, have it your way, and thank you.